It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. This is Action Sports Jax Prime Time, sponsored by Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
That'll never happen again. Never again. You know, when you lose a bet, you got to pay up, though. You know, it's just the way it is.
Oh. Calais Campbell lost a bet 4 to beat Miami, so this morning going to the stadium, Calais had to wear a Gator shirt to the stadium. You know what I always find interesting, Dan?
What's
Look
that?
at the smiles. We're all excited this morning,
Man,
and then
so pumped
tonight
up.
and tomorrow morning we're just miserable because of that game.
The drive of the day, driven by your local Ford dealers.
Last race before the playoffs, it's the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. Jimmy Johnson has never missed the postseason before. That statement made in past tense because, wow, the 48 car collected in a wreck this afternoon. 7-time champion Johnson does not make the cut. Kevin Harvick was already in the field of 16, but another win gives him some bonus points for the playoffs. Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, the last two to make it in.
Hey, one more look here at the wall that says it all. And it says a 40-26 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in the opener. Jags are 0-1. Obviously, the defense plays bad. The huge story, Nick Foles is out. We don't know how long. It might be a couple of months.
Well,
Gardner Minshew is the guy.
We know it's going to be half a season, though.
It's going to be.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's leave you with something a bit more positive.
Please.
Leonard Fournette, before the game, visiting with this young lady from Brunswick. Her name is Ariana Hopper. What a smile. Cool moment before the game. And Leonard Fournette continues to make a lot of fans happy. Autographs, cleats, and a lot of smiles for that family from Brunswick. Next week, by the way, Jags in Houston.
Oh, boy.
Now at 11, a cargo ship capsizes in the middle of the night, sending first responders into action.
Swimmer and survivor are clear of the vessel.
The Coast Guard and local firefighters rescued 20 people, but 4 more remain trapped on the ship tonight. These are new pictures that show what Coast Guard rescue crews found as they first arrived at a cargo ship that capsized off St. Simon's Island about 21 hours ago. The cargo ship is named the Golden Ray, and it left port in Brunswick overnight before capsizing. Good evening, I'm Bridget Matter.
And I'm Ben Becker. Here's the very latest on the rescue operation. The Golden Ray capsized in St. Simon's Sound around 2 a.m. We are approaching low tide within the hour. Rescue operations are on hold while the Coast Guard waits for conditions to be safe on board.
Our team coverage includes a look at how weather may impact the rescue and recovery mission, but we start with Action News Jax. Danny Bozzini, live at the St. Simon's Island Pier. Danny, the Coast Guard has to balance the safety of the crew with the safety of the people on the boat.
The U.S. Coast Guard is facing a very dangerous rescue mission off the coast of St. Simon's Island. 20 crew members have been rescued from the capsized ship, but the Coast Guard is in a race against time to rescue the 4 that are still unaccounted for.
Bring a torn survivor inside the cabin.
One by one, the U.S. Coast Guard began rescuing the crew members aboard the Golden Ray after it capsized around 1:30 Sunday morning.
I'm going to bring it back up. Roger.
We're told the cargo ship carrying over 4,000 cars was leaving port when it started taking in water on the left side of the ship while trying to turn right.
20 of the 24 people on board have been rescued at this time.
The U.S. Coast Guard tells Action News Jax they have not been able to get inside the ship to rescue the 4 that remain unaccounted for. Rescue crews had to temporarily pull away from the ship after a fire broke out.
The fire that was observed this morning was coming off of the starboard side. That looked to be about the area of the cargo, and it was black smoke. Since then, the flames have gone out, and the black smoke has ceased.
We're told currents, the fire, and just the 90-degree angle of the ship is making it extremely difficult for crews to get on board.
It's a complex situation, so we're looking not just for the safety of to be able to rescue the people that are on board, but also to be able to provide safety for our crews. So.
A damage assessment team has been called out to the Golden Ray to assess the different impacts it's facing in hopes of finding the best way to move forward with their rescue efforts. Live in St. Simon's Island, Danny Bozzini, CBS47 Action News Jax.
Here's what's next with the Golden Ray rescue and recovery. Once it's safe, they'll attempt to locate the 4 missing crew members. There are 2 NTSB investigators on scene. They will try to get the voyage data recorder. That's like the black box on an airplane and can provide details about what happened when the ship capsized.
This marine traffic website shows the Golden Ray left port in Brunswick just before 1 a.m. this morning. You can see it right here. Now, the Coast Guard says the ship was leaning to the left or port side as it departed. It stopped moving around 1:41. Apparently, that's when the ship capsized. This now is video of a cargo ship similar to the Golden Ray, which was carrying about 4,200 cars. The interior resembles a parking garage, as you can see. According to radio chatter from first responders, communications inside the ship were down.
Be advised, all communication systems on the ship are down. There are crew members on board. We're communicating via personal radio. They're trying to find a way off right now. There are injuries reported within the ship's hull. We have no access to this point.
Now, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources has put up a safety perimeter around the ship to keep other ships from getting too close.
The timing for the rescue and recovery mission will also depend on the tides. For that part of our team coverage, we turn to meteorologist Stacy Garvilla in the First Alert Weather Center.
And the Golden Ray left at 1:18, and the morning high tide this morning was at 4:30. Now, we're actually approaching that next low tide at 11:47 this evening, and then our next high tide will be 5:27 tomorrow morning. As far as those weather conditions for tomorrow, we have south winds throughout the morning hours. Temps in Brunswick will be in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. It's not till the afternoon that we begin to see those winds turn out of the south and east, and we'll still be into the lower 90s before those southeast winds kick in. So fair weather conditions tomorrow. It looks like any showers or storms that develop will be very isolated over mainly inland southeast Georgia. So weather conditions do look to cooperate for tomorrow. Now, it was hot out there today. We still have another hot day on the way before things start to cool off just a little bit. We're tracking that and when rain chances increase in the First Alert 7-day forecast.
The Coast Guard is also working to prevent any potential fuel or chemical leaks from this ship. That's a concern for local environmentalists.
Any spills, it's a lot of fuel. It was leaving the port, so you have up to 40,000 gallons of fuel on board, plus all the cars that are in the vessel itself.
To be on the safe side, the Coastal Health District has issued a swimming advisory for St. Simons and Jekyll Island beaches.
The Golden Ray is owned by a South Korean shipping company. Action News Jax has reached out to the Hyundai Glovis for comment. The ship is flagged out of the Marshall Islands. It was built in 2017. We know that the Golden Ray is 656 feet long and 106 feet wide. We looked up the inspection reports for the Golden Ray. The ship received safety management certificates in May and July of 2018. It also received a cargo ship safety equipment certificate in December of 2017 and other safety certificates as well.
Our team coverage continues with Action News Jax Alicia Tarracon with a look at how locals came out to see this unusual sight off the coast.
Dozens of locals head out to the St. Simons Island Pier and watch the boats coming in each day, in and out of the Port of Brunswick. On Sunday morning, this normally quiet little pier was greeted by a very different sight.
To see it on its side, it was just so big, so surprising, and there's just a huge crowd down here.
Pretty unusual to see a ship of this size to be sitting on its side out here at St. Simons Sound.
Bruce Jackson was standing on this pier at around 6 a.m. when he said he spotted the fire trucks, the police cars, and of course this massive cargo ship on its side.
I mean, this is a disaster.
Jackson watched the rescue operation unfold as Coast Guard crews scrambled to save the people on board the Golden Ray.
Tugboats, sea tow, numerous boats was out.
He showed me this photo of smoke coming from the ship, and the Coast Guard told us there was a fire on board during the rescue mission. And behind us, people crowded around the pier, all eager to get a better look.
This don't never happen, ever. So this is pretty big for this island.
Reporting on the St. Simons Island Pier, Alicia Tarracon, CBS47, Action News Jax.
Stay with Action News Jax as this develops. We'll bring you new information and images on the Action News Jax mobile app and update you on all developments tomorrow on Action News Jax this morning.
A triple whammy for the Jaguars.
And a major highlight for the Jaguars.
Nick Foles throws his first touchdown as a Jag, only to leave the game with a broken collarbone.
Then brutal temperatures send several fans to the hospital, and on top of that, CBS Sports suddenly switched games in the fourth quarter.
Take you to a more competitive game as we take you now to Tennessee and Cleveland.
It was all fun and games until the power went out.
It turns out it was an electrical problem with their production truck. Yeah, so Nick Foles will get surgery on his broken collarbone tomorrow.
And he was injured as he threw his very first touchdown pass as a Jag. Action Sports Jax Brett Martineau is live in studio. Brett, the Jags had a day to forget.
If you think about this on the grand scheme of things, it might be the worst season opener in Jacksonville history. The loss, a defense that got sliced and diced by KC, one of your captains ejected for throwing a punch, and to top it all off, the biggest news of the day, the Jags lose their quarterback for a couple of months at best. This is the story. Nick Foles' 10th play in a Jags uniform. A beautiful throw to DJ Chark for a touchdown. Nice catch, too. Made it a 10-7 game. That was the good. The bad was he got driven into the ground by Chris Jones of Kansas City. Broken clavicle in the collarbone area. Foles will need surgery tomorrow. A big blow to the Jags QB position.
Not the way you want to start your time here. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, you know, I'm going to stay positive, trust the good Lord in this time. Sometimes, you know, things don't happen like we expect them.
Now, this game probably wouldn't have mattered if Foles played in it because there was so much on the defense. And rookie Gardner Minshew played well. But can he do it now for a couple of months? What the team thinks about the rookie. Coming up on Action Sports Jax Primetime in a bit.
All right, so time for a poll question. What should the Jags do about the quarterback situation? Should the Jags ride with Gardner Minshew? He had a great day today. What about trading for Eli Manning? You know, he got benched today and, of course, won 2 Super Bowls with Tom Coughlin. And then there's Colin Kaepernick. You can vote by heading to actionnewsjax.com/vote. Now, in the middle of the fourth quarter, with about 10 minutes to go, the NFL Today host, James Brown, announced CBS Sports was cutting to a more competitive game, which, you know, he could have maybe made that statement, but that wasn't accurate, and he later apologized. Action News Jax Brett Martineau took this video of the CBS Sports crew working on an electrical issue at its production truck. And I spoke with a CBS Sports spokesperson who gave me this statement about the problem that knocked the game off our air. It was, quote, due to a power outage during the Jacksonville-Kansas City game, viewers were switched to the Tennessee-Cleveland game, then the Buffalo-New York Jets game. We regret we were unable to return the audience to their scheduled game before power was restored.
JFRD kept a close eye on the thermometer during today's game. Inside TIAA Bank Field, the temperature got to well over 120 degrees. Some fans brought inflatable pools to keep cool. The Jags relaxed their outside water rules and set up cooling stations, but JFRD still had to help 86 people with medical issues, and 18 people ended up in the hospital. Despite record-breaking temps and the loss, fans are still hopeful for the rest of the season.
If Nick Foles comes back, I think the Jaguars will be top 3 to win the division.
25 years, seen the good, seen the great, seen the exciting. It's always a fun experience here.
More coverage of the Jags home opener is coming up on Action News Jax, Action Sports Jax, prime time at 11:30.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Stacey Garvilla. We hit 97 today and yesterday. So coming off a very hot weekend, when we could cool off a little and see some rain return, that's in the Action News Jax First Alert 7-day forecast.
Safety changes for a busy local road. Your chance to tell FDOT what needs to happen on a key stretch of Beach Boulevard.
Plus, the tragedy in the Bahamas expands. Local firefighters to bring relief to the battered islands.
New at 11, First Baptist Church will sell off 9 of the 10 blocks of its downtown Jacksonville campus. The church came to that decision after a vote today. The church decided it could no longer afford to spend millions of dollars per year to maintain the sprawling campus. The church has not specified which parts of its campus will be put up for sale.
There are now 44 people confirmed dead from Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, and the number is expected to rise. Apico's Island is littered with debris. Many locals are packing up and leaving, hoping to escape the damage. Experts say it will take at least 5 years and billions of dollars to bring these neighborhoods and businesses back to what they were. Today, a tailgate group helped those affected by Hurricane Dorian. The Duval House raised more than $7,000 to send to the Bahamas. They also received boxes of items that will be sent with a volunteer fire department that's based in the Bahamas. The Duval House is a community home where fans can get together before the game. The organizer says he knows what it's like to lose everything.
We lost our home in Hurricane Irma and know what it's like to go through that in the rebuilding process. And we had flood insurance. You know, we had the ability to rebuild. Some of these families don't.
If you want to make donations, we have an option for you. Action News Jax is teaming up with 104.5 WOKV for a joint Bahamas relief effort. The Convoy of Care will be set up Tuesday at the roundabout near Maggiano's in Town Center until 2 p.m. We're only collecting items on our list. It includes water, baby supplies, hygiene products, flashlights, batteries, and dog food.
The Carnival Ecstasy is on its way back to Jacksonville. It's due back tomorrow. The ship left Jacksonville last Monday and was supposed to return Friday, but the return was delayed by Hurricane Dorian. This week, you can let your voice be heard about proposed changes on Beach Boulevard, including traffic signals. There will be an open house to discuss the changes to the beach between Southside Boulevard and Eve Drive. Action News Jax told you in January when FDOT singled out Beach Boulevard from St. John's Bluff to Parental Home Road as one of the most dangerous in the city for pedestrians. Attendees can discuss the changes on Tuesday with project and staff consultants. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Regency Square Branch Library.
Now certified Jacksonville's most accurate weather forecast. Action News Jax First Alert Weather.
Well, we hit 97 degrees yesterday. That broke the record high. Today we also hit 97 degrees, but it did not quite break the record. The record still stands at 98 from 1990. But either way, mid and upper 90s all across the area today. That's well above the average in the upper 80s. And if you think it's been hot this year, we've actually hit 97 degrees or hotter 27 times so far this year. And the average is only 4, so well above that. That's not 90 or hotter. That's 97 or hotter. Now, tomorrow we come close, but I think we'll fall a few degrees shy of that. Still going to be hot, though, into the mid-80s by 10 o'clock in the morning, 93 at noon. Still topping out in the mid-90s with mostly sunny skies and mostly dry conditions, too. The best chance for an isolated shower or storm will be across southeast Georgia, but notice most of the activity looks to stay off to the north. We will have those southeast winds kicking in tomorrow, so with that sea breeze, it'll keep Jacksonville right around 94. We do fall back into the upper 80s at the coast, but inland still reaching the mid and upper 90s tomorrow. Now, Tuesday, we'll have a couple of coastal showers. Notice still mainly dry. As we head into the afternoon, all areas are a bit cooler. We'll have a stronger push of these easterly winds, so even inland areas cooling back to the lower to mid 90s there. About 90 in Jacksonville on Tuesday, so that's an improvement over the mid and upper 90s we've had today and yesterday. And it will fall into the middle 80s there for the beaches. Now, we're tracking the tropics, and Dorian, what's left of it, continues tracking out to the north and east, no longer tropical at all. And this low pressure will be absorbing Dorian, too, so nothing left there. Now, as far as Gabrielle, still a tropical storm, no threat to us here across northeast Florida or southeast Georgia or even any of the U.S. as the storm will continue tracking up to the north. But we are watching two different areas, one here in the central Atlantic, which has a decent shot at developing into something next week as it continues to track off to the west very slowly there. And then this yellow X you see is actually a very disorganized cluster of showers and storms, and as it moves westward north of Puerto Rico and the northern Leeward Islands, very low chance of development just because the conditions aren't favorable. The upper level winds will be a little too strong. Either way, this looks to be bringing us the potential for some rain and storms as we head into the weekend. Now, where you live at the coast tomorrow, we have lower 90s before the sea breeze kicks in. Then we'll be back in the upper 80s there. East winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. In the metro, about 94 tomorrow with southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So a little cooler than today. Still hot. It'll still feel like the triple digits. The moisture will actually be increasing a bit, too, as we get back those easterly winds. At 96 inland tomorrow with southwest winds at about 5 miles per hour. So in the First Alert 7-day forecast, we are going to see those temps continue dropping as we head throughout the middle of the week. Isolated chances for showers and storms begin picking up Wednesday and Thursday, but coverage of rain and storms increasing a lot more for Friday and into the weekend, which is always in view. So we do have those highs still in the mid and upper 80s. You can always watch this forecast online. Head to actionnewsjax.com and download for free the First Alert Weather app.
Help for local victims of a massive fire. The local businesses that are helping people return to their homes.
Scammers target customers of a local power company. The one thing your utility company will never do over the phone that gives this scam away.
All right, we've mentioned it. Nick Foles out for a while. Broken collarbone. What's next for the Jags? What will they do? Coming up on Action Sports Jax Prime Time.
Governor Ron DeSantis is going to make a major announcement tomorrow at both UF and FSU. The governor will begin at UF at 8:30 tomorrow morning. 2 hours later, he will be at Florida State. The governor's press office did not share the topic for tomorrow's announcements. Count on Action News Jax to bring you the details tomorrow as they break.
Local families that were impacted by an apartment fire are getting some help. 26 new beds are being delivered tomorrow to the adults and children who lost their furniture in this fire at the Callaway Cove Apartments. The beds are being donated from Ashley Home Store. Action News Jax told you about the fire in July. The fire put a mother and 3 children in the hospital.
JEA wants to warn you about a scam. The utility company says scammers are claiming to be JEA and threatening to disconnect customer service if you don't make a payment with a gift card. JEA says they'll never demand payment over the phone.
All right, let's check in on our interactive poll. We asked you, what should the Jags do about the quarterback situation? And right now, Minshew, yeah, that's right. That's right. The guy who played today, right? Minshew, 66% say he should stay as the Jags quarterback. Kaepernick's in there. Eli Manning maybe trading for Eli. But you like Minshew. You like his facial hair, right? You like the Fu Manchu going?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Looks
you guys,
great.
Right. You see, that is how you guys define who the quarterback of the Jags should be.
No, he did good today.
Yeah, absolutely. But you were saying all day he should get a chance. He should have been the starter.
It's all in the stash, man.
That's right. All right, Stacey, what do you have?
All right, still hot tomorrow, maybe not as hot as we were this weekend. Still 94, mostly sunny and mostly dry, but we will be cooling off later this week as we see the rain chances start to increase, especially by late in the week and the weekend. So next weekend will be a lot different than what we just went through with dry and hot weather.
And be sure to join us tomorrow for all your overnight news and weather and traffic updates on Action News Jax this morning. That starts at 4:30 on Fox 30.
All right, I know you can't get enough Jags, right? Because there's so much to discuss, so much to break down. A hothead moment, what Miles Jack is saying about getting thrown out of today's game. You know, he's a captain, and he got thrown out of the game. That's all coming up next on Action Sports Jax Prime Time.
It's the best local sports show in Jacksonville. This is Action Sports Jax Prime Time, sponsored by Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
It's football. Things get heated at times, and you know, some stuff got to get handled. And whether it's the right way to handle it or the wrong way, it happened.
I'm going to say it was the wrong way. Jalen Ramsey talking about the ejection of Miles Jack, but it was pure dejection at the bank today. And season opener for the Jags against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, plenty of sunshine in Northeast Florida. It was hot out there.
Man.
But it was a stormy start to the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags lose their cool, their quarterback, and the football game to open the 2019 season.
All things considered, maybe the worst season opener in franchise history. Hey, everybody, Hicken and Martineau, hope you're hydrated enough for the next half hour. This is Action Sports Jax Prime Time, and, well, Nick Foles.
Yeah, I want some of what they're having. Nick Foles has never played 16 games in a season, and that streak will continue. On his first touchdown passes to Jags quarterback, Foles gets driven into the ground. He knew it right away. It was serious. X-ray showing a broken clavicle bone. That's in the left shoulder area. 10 minutes into the season, the Jags had lost their franchise QB for probably a couple of months.
Was ready on special teams. Here's the hit. He gets sandwiched.
Yeah, I knew right when I hit the ground something was wrong. I knew. I felt it. You know, that's why. All I saw was two red jerseys in my face, and I saw. I remember hitting the ground on the left side and feeling a crack, and getting up, going to the sidelines, and coming in and getting checked.
How does this compare at all to the injury in 2014?
This one's worse than 2014, but at the same time, I'm optimistic that it'll heal quicker.
What did Cap tell you in terms of the time span here?
We don't have a time span. We're going to take it one day at a time. Ultimately, just get the surgery done. But, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to get back as quickly as I can to where I'm ready to roll.
Foles by the numbers. And some notes for you. 5 of 8 for 75 yards. The touchdown drive included a big third and 18 completion. Impressive. And then the touchdown was on a third down as well. Suffered a similar injury, as you heard him say, in 2014. That was a hairline fracture. This is a break. Foles will have surgery tomorrow. The recovery, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. We'll probably see him in November.
Yeah, that's kind of what you estimate. 6 to 12 weeks is kind of a